It is time. Convergence. Here and now. Of all the paths. All the fates. We are at a nexus. All of us. For or against this moment. Every one of us. Every one of my brothers. Will be judged. They will either be found worthy, or the weight of their ignorance towards our new cause will stay their feet. The chosen will join me, their Lord, at the falling of a new night. The ignorant will die and be forgotten. It is that simple. A binary choice. Life or death. I have brought us to this point. I have revealed the threshold to all of my brothers. Now it is they that must step across it. In my heart, I hope it is all of them. But in my soul, I know this will not be so. Alas, what it is to be, shall be, just as the grandfather has foreseen. From death of the non-believers shall metastasize the resurgence of this warband. From death shall come life, just as the paths of fate lead to this singular point. So too do the workways of this ship, my ship, the Death Rattle. They lead to the arena of a shared destiny. I head for the bridge. There I have summoned the warband together. I shall stand before them upon my arrival as a prophet, bearing the gifts of illumination to the hidden truth of the universe. The chalice of revelation shall pass from my own hand to the parched lips of my brothers. Their spiritual desiccation will be rejuvenated through the words of the grandfather. I am his instrument, and he wields me as freely as he would a blade. I will liberate my kin from their inevitable self-destruction and baptize them with the waters of our new purpose. Vengeance, true vengeance, is our birthright. It is our inheritance. This warband shall take up the sword once more and plunge it deep into the Imperium's heart. It is our just cause. I am almost where I need to be. I can detect a palpable tension. It is delicious. Indeed, there is an anxiety thick in the air. They sense what is to come. My brothers, they know change is abroad. They know the fates conspire about them. They know not all of them will make it. Fear. There it is. Rich and pervasive, like blood in the water. It invigorates me, as it should them, the true sons of the Night Haunter. I will look for the signs of those who feed off of it, for those who devour the terror as if it were true nourishment. These Nightlords will be amongst the strongest. They will be this warband's future. As for the others, they will be shown what faith in the Grandfather offers. If such bounties are rejected, then they will earn themselves a lesson in true agony. The final few steps lay before me. The immense black doors to the bridge begin to grind open, revealing my assembled brothers beyond. There is no formality to be found here. Such things are relics of another time, a time long past, a time of unity, of truth, of ideals, echoes of a dead age, ghosts of the past. I stride through them, indifferent to the hushed words and disparaging comments muttered just within earshot. They are still so ignorant, just as I was. We are children, all of us, fumbling blindly in the dark. We know nothing. But there is salvation. There is absolution for us. A teacher has been revealed, and he is generous with his wisdom. I ascend the commandes to my throne, but I do not sit. I am not here to rule them, not yet. I am a preacher. This bridge is my temple, and I will give sermon here. Before me stand heathens, but they can be saved. They must be. I have to try. Their unhelmed faces all stare up at me. Black eyes, pale skin, cruel smiles, callous smirks, intense glares. My brothers, my Nightlords, all of them regard me. To some, I am their lord. To others, just an upstart. And to a fewer still, I am prey. I can feel the contempt in this place. It bleeds out of the killers before me. I smile at this. I welcome it. Let it wash over me like a black tide. I wade in it. I bathe in it. I consume it. Their contempt is to be encouraged. It will give them focus on the path I shall lead them on. But it must be directed. It will need to be refined, sharpened to a razor's edge, and wielded as keenly as an assassin's dagger. Then I will aim it at the heart of the Imperium, and with cold execution begin to slowly push it in. Ave Dominus Nox. I speak these words aloud with reverence. Ave Dominus Nox. My brothers repeat the sacred words. They may be cutthroats, but even they respect this remnant of our legacy. This night, my brothers, I come before you with an invitation to join me in enlightenment. For too long, we have been without purpose. We raid sporadically. Our targets offer nothing but sport. Their deaths in no way furthering the Night Haunter's final command. We must be better, my brothers. We can be better, and I will show you the way. At this proclamation, the Nightlords before me react with derision. I expect this. After all, was I not so different when I was confronted with the truth? Yes, my brothers. Mock me if it salves your egos. But no, this will not negate the new reality you find yourselves confronted with. As one who already understands this, I beckon you all to follow my example. This is a gift, one that will elevate you all, but it must be accepted willingly. Voices call out, insults, further mockery, but amongst this, some have begun to listen. We are a shattered brotherhood. We are no longer legion. We have faltered. Make no mistake, my brothers. We are dying. This warband has lost its way. It is anemic. It is drowning in its own bile. It is rotting. Soon, there will be nothing left. No way back for you. There is a choice, my brothers. Accept salvation. Accept revelation and be reinvigorated to once more unleash your true wrath upon the galaxy. Or do not, and suffer the inevitable wasting away of your being until death is a mercy. The choice, the decision is yours, but understand the cost well. I offer a life or death to you all. This time, there are far fewer dissenting voices. Perhaps they are finally ready to learn. Perhaps they're deciding whether to kill me, where I stand. Either way, it will represent a choice made, and the consequences that follow will be upon their heads. Heed me, fellow sons of Nostromo. You are lords of the night. You are vengeance, and you are death. No longer should you skulk in the depths, scraping an existence off of the Imperium's detritus. You will ascend from the banishment enforced on you. You will emerge, cloaked in shadow, and cast off the shame of failure. The heresy was the Lupercal's undoing, not yours, and together we shall return. We shall bring ruination down on our enemies, and when the Imperium burns and its lords cower at our coming, we shall be vindicated in the Night Haunter's name. Blades are drawn, bolt guns raised, but not at me. The Nightlords, my Nightlords, are chanting, Ave Dominus Nox, Ave Dominus Nox, Ave Dominus Nox. Ave Dominus Nox, I cry mockingly, joining the chorus of the Astartes. Ave Dominus Nox, all hail the Lord of the Night. My entrance onto the bridge turns the heads of those closest. Word begins to spread, and it is not long before all eyes of obsidian black fall. Creep. There it is. That word, that name. Whispered, muttered, hissed. Even those who I do not see voice the slur still seek to inflict it upon me. Their glare, ice cold in its intensity, reflects their loathing of me. It betrays their contempt for me. I see it. I see it in their eyes. Their disgust at my approach. They do not say it, but I see it regardless. Creep. That we are of the same blood. I despise my so-called brothers. My lord Jennick, I say, addressing the Nightlord on the dais. It does me well, as I am sure it does of our brothers, to have you amongst us once again. The heads of all turn from me to Lord Jennick, awaiting his response. Despite this newfound confidence of our Lord, there are still questions he must answer, and I will not allow him to slip the leash of accountability. The pieces are almost where I need them to be. Just a little longer until the final one is here. Then we can truly begin. Kazzimir, he says, with a grin that peels his lips back to reveal yellow teeth. How gracious of you to find your way into our company. All are welcome, even you. A chorus of cackles ring out from amongst the Astartes. A few turn back to see my reaction at the veiled insult. They will be disappointed to find I am not so easily baited. I clear my throat dismissively, as if I hadn't heard Jennick's words. Now that you are returned to us, my lord, I hope to raise the matter of your latest raid. Murmurs from the Nightlords, and Jennick's smile grows a little wider. Why is he smiling like that? What of it? He replies, his black eyes fixed on me. It was just that the world we ravaged, I have reason to believe it may not have been just another insignificant. A ripple of intrigue passes through my brothers. The mood on the bridge has begun to change. Jennick had them all dancing to his tune when I arrived. He'd no doubt played on their feckless pride, appealing to the ever-fading memories of the past glories the 8th Legion was barely present for. Jennick, he stands up there, posturing, indulging the self-denial and bitterness of these legionnaires, content to let them revel in the delusion we were anything other than a pack of vicious killers. I will not let him return to us as if he is some kind of savior, not after he has hidden away from us for so long. I will not stand by as he claims this newfound charisma and pretends we have not all seen him racked by indecision, mumbling, second-guessing himself, unable to truly lead this warband, incapable of making the most basic of decisions. He does not get to stand there when he can't even stand with us in battle. Jennick is weak, and I will make all of them see this. The time has finally come to end this charade. The Lord of the Decaying Dread continues to smile at me. Really? Is that so, Kazzimir? He smirks. I glare at the eyes above that ghoulish smile, refusing to be intimidated. It is, my lord. That world, It wasn't just any backwater world, was it? Jennick says nothing. He stands there, motionless, except for the slow arch of an eyebrow. Is it not true, my lord Jennick, that the world we just burned was in fact Hephaestus Minoris, supply world to the Mechanicus, and supplicant world to the forge world Hephaestus Proxima? The Nightlords have all now turned towards their lord. They already understand what this means. They know what will happen. My brothers already feel the Imperial's crosshairs painted over their black hearts. Lord Jennick, you just had us murder the second most vital world in the sector. Now they begin to call out, cast accusations, make threats at their master. Loyalty. It is the most brittle of materials to honor one's resolve in. It is so easily stained, so easily cracked, so easily shattered. Loyalty. It is a principle, and in this legion, principles die a violent death. These Astartes are not loyal. They are pragmatists. They want to raid and to kill, but mostly they want to live. Threaten their existence, and they'll eat you alive. My brothers are always so brave when butchering civilians. Not so much when the entirety of the sector's military might is descending down upon them. These Lords of the Night will never choose to stand and fight when running away is an option. What they will do is tear the flesh from the bones of the one who has earned them this retribution. My brothers are angry, just as they should be, but more importantly, they no longer feel so charitable to their lord. They're no longer quite so willing to defend their lord if he was to be challenged. They're no longer concerned with his survival now that he's compromised theirs. It's all falling into place. And yet, he's just stood there. Jennick, he hasn't moved. He's not even drawn a weapon. And that smile, he's still smiling. He's smiling right at me. He raises his hands, placating his brothers like some kind of dark prophet. Unsurprisingly, they aren't eager to acquiesce his request. My brothers, he begins, but the volume of the other Astartes is all but drowning his voice out. I may not even need Ursk to come in and finish him off. My brothers, hear me, he tries to say. A handful of the Nightlords are moving up. You do not want this, my brothers, Jennick says through the grin that hasn't left his face this entire time. As the Nightlords continue to ascend, I finally see the Lord of the Decaying Dread move, his hand going to the wicked blade at his waist. How many can he take on, I wonder? 4? 5? One-on-one, there isn't a legionnaire here that could best him. But at the same time, they're going to murder him. His own brothers, the ones he considered comrades but moments ago, are now moving in for the kill. A pack of jackals going for the throat of an old wolf. I allow my own smile to reach my lips. Things are going better than I could have.
An Even without the amplification of my helmet, the sound is deafening. All gathered on the bridge turn to regard me. No one touches him. A lone legionnaire, caught in the hysteria of the moment, charges me. I snarl out of disdain. This legion, truly, we have recruited nothing but fools and dregs. The legionnaire is almost upon me. He's drawn a blade, a combat knife. I stand, bedecked in Terminator armor, and this cretin pulls a shiv on me, as if I am little more than some Nostraman gutter rat. A single step forward, and I bring my fist up and around, connecting with the simpleton. Armor cracks, flesh pulverizes, and bone shatters, and the Astarte is lifted from his feet and hurled sideways across the bridge. I pay him no more regard, as I can. His armored form crashing to the deck to lay motionless. No one touches him until I get my answers. None present move, except for Jennick, whose hand relinquishes the blade held by it.
Your timing is impeccable as ever, my brother.
Says a clearly amused Jennick, a lunatic smile spread across his face. Does he realize his own warriors are about to slay him? Perhaps the creep was right. He is mad. Why did you order the attack? I ask him, no intention of feigning deference to his rank. Jennick chuckles. It is as cold and mirthless, and I've heard it before. When he kills, when the bloodlust takes him, that cackling monster comes out. And yet, I see it now before me, in the moments when the man should be in control, and not the...
Well, it would appear you've been in conversation with Kazzimir.
He responds, gesturing to the creep.
Such a pleasure to see brothers come together, although this is an unusual friendship.
He jests. I stare him down. I've not come here to humor this thing he's become. Tell me, Lord, why do this thing? Why bring the Imperium down upon us? Are you mad? The silence that follows is deafening. No one speaks. No one dares make a sound. Even the cogitator banks that line the circumference of the bridge have grown quiet. It is as though, by giving voice to the truth we amongst the warband have all witnessed, I have committed the most dire of blasphemies. None in this place would dare have uttered such words, and in doing so, I have singled myself out. Perhaps these Nightlords believe I do this out of some conviction born from my time as the Atramentar. Perhaps they think this is an overinflated ego. The hand of death succumb to his own dark legend, that I may so openly challenge Lord Jennick. I care not what they choose to believe. What I do now, I do for myself. What comes after remains to be seen. That smile, that Richter's grin, insanity writ large across his face, opens, and he begins to laugh. It is a shrill, rasping, joyless cackle that reverberates around this space. Like razors across bare skin, it cuts deep, all the way down, through veins and nerves, arteries and muscle, fat and bone, all the way to the soul. I have witnessed the death of worlds, whole populations forced to endure torment and agony. I have perpetrated atrocities that have broken the minds of those I left alive. My gauntlets are stained with the blood of millions. All these things I have done, I have never flinched, not once. But when Jennick laughed, it took all my will to not recoil from the horror of that sound.
Yeah.
He says, through the laughter, the bottomless twin abysses of his eyes boring into my own.
I assure you all, I am quite mad.
Anger, disbelief, confusion. All these things rage inside of me, seeking to overwhelm my composure. I must stay focused. I am master of myself. My emotions do not control me. They will all see this. Jennick will see this.
There, you see, my brothers, he admits it at long last. The truth, we all knew. The hand of death has...
The creep, unbidden, squawks from his corner, no doubt attempting to seize the moment. I will deal with him soon enough, but first, to shut him up. Quiet, creep! I snarl at him. The creature looks taken aback. This was not the reaction he had expected. This pleases me. I'm not his puppet, his plaything. He will learn this. I am no one's to manipulate. This night, I will have my answers, and then I will act, but it will be by my choice. Horsepeck's alarms scream from Voxcasters. The lobotomized servitors hardwired into the cogitator banks, droning out the reports of a dozen war breaches and counting. It's over. They have found us. I do not need to see the Auspex reports to know it is the Imperium. I do not need to hear the mechanical grinding that passes for the voice of the bridge crew to know it is the Astartes. I do not need the experience of 10,000 years of near constant warfare to understand the battle to come will be a slaughter. Beneath my boots, I cannot feel vibrations of the Death Rattle's reactor. She is cold, adrift in the void, her heart needing time to thaw out and start beating again. We cannot run. Why are we even still here? The raid on Hephaestus Proxima was days ago, and we're still drifting through the system. We are all dead. Jennick looks over his shoulder out of the bridge's arched windows and smirks.
Well, there they are, at last,
he says, looking back at me.
I had expected them sooner.
I stare in disbelief as reports of further war breaches broadcast across the bridge. You've killed us, Jennick, I growl.
We could have a chance,
says the creep, unbidden again.
Make for the debris field above Hephaestus Minoris. Power down. All systems, even life support. Their auspex may lose us amongst all of the wreckage.
It is a desperate plan. But if anyone on this floating coffin can be trusted to save their own skin, then it would be the creep, Kazzimir. I turn on Jennick. Give the order, I say, might.
Why would I do that, dear brother?
He asks, incredulous. Because, I snarl through gritted teeth. An Astartes fleet is making all speed towards us. They will be priming weapon systems, then they will be acquiring target locks, then they will fire. In 15 minutes, this vessel will be reduced to molten slag. We cannot fight them, Jennick. So, give the order to run. He tuts, as a disappointed tutor might to a student, like a parent to a favored child.
Such little faith, brother. You do not see, but you can. I will reveal so much to you, to all of you. But you must abandon your fear, as I have. You are Nightlords of the Decaying Dread. The only fear you know is that which you infest your enemies' hearts with.
I sense the creep by my side. I never saw him move, though. Slippery bastard.
He has lost all reason, Ursk.
He says, his voice shaking with adrenaline and anticipation. Damn him. Damn them both. And damn me for being caught in this mess.
You know what needs to be done,
he says, his voice almost a whisper. I glance sideways at him. Damn you, creep, I growl. Lord Jennick, give the order, I say firmly.
And if I don't, Ursk?
He replies, the madness flaring in his eyes. I pause, considering the gravity of what comes next.
Is that so? Well, in that case, I say no.
What is happening? Is he truly intent on consigning the warband to extinction? He has truly lost his mind.
We're...
says the creep.
Do it now, while we still have a chance.
As much as I loathe him, he's right. Then you leave me no choice, my lord, I say, stepping forward onto the dais. Step aside. With that, I activate my power fist. Energy erupts along the sharpened talons at the end of each finger as I flex its servos.
I'm disappointed, Ursk. I thought this moment would be sooner. You'd be a fine leader by your own rights. But under my tutelage, you could be great.
Jennick says, seemingly favorable despite my challenge. It didn't need to be this way, Jennick. This didn't have to end this way. I could ignore everything. Everything you've done. Everything you do. Just as long as you didn't threaten my survival. But you couldn't, could you? That madness in you. No doubt a throwback to our Primarch. It has consumed you. And now it will devour the rest of us. You have failed, Jennick. I say with condemnation. Jennick looks at me. He looks at the creep. He looks at the rest of the warband. And he sighs.
Jennick failed you, brother.
He says. What? I ask him, uncertain if he hears me over the commotion around us.
Jennick failed you, brother. He failed you all. And that is why you no longer keep faith with your lord. Jennick was weak. He was a fool. And he was blind. But I am not.
I see it then. Behind that smile, what it masks. Who are you? The smile widens, the insanity burning behind those eyes regarding me, regarding us all, with a predatory hunger, utterly unyielding. He straightens to his full stature, his dark majesty revealed. A palpable terror drips from him, spreading across the bridge, infesting everything.
I am the new path, my brother. I am the future. I am destiny, and I am fate. I am the harbinger of the creeping madness, the host of true insanity. I am the vector through which the liberation of mortality flows. I am death. I am retribution. I am Jennick as he should have been, the master you all deserve. I am the Dark Jester, he declares, gently, almost
Almost lovingly, he holds his hand out to me.
We are chosen, my brother. We are exalted, and this night we will arise renewed.
I witness it. In that moment, the new power inherent in his every move. It is overwhelming. Where has this come from? When? How? These things he says. It almost sounds like he has a plan.
Stand with me, Ursk. Stand with me and be made mightier than you ever thought possible. Stand with me and become my hand of death.
This is madness. We stare down the barrels of an Astartes fleet. Our end beckons, and we can do nothing but accept its inevitability. I stand here, and now before the one who has orchestrated this. I should kill him, out of nothing more than petty revenge. It would not save any of us, but it would provide a momentary distraction, and he'd get what he deserves. And yet, I do not feel this urge. I do not desire to strike him down. Temptation, intrigue, the possibility of the impossible. These things call to me in my cold killer's heart.
Ursk, do it. End this charade.
Pleads the creep. The thing that calls itself the Dark Jester turns his attention to Kazzimir.
Charade.
It laughs maliciously. I sense the creep shrink back at the words, spoken as if an accusation.
Yes, Kazzimir. The charade should end. It has run its course. You have run your course.
It says. For a moment, the creep appears frozen, lost for words, uncertain. This is new.
I will thank you, brother. You have provided me a great service. The grandfather is...
The creep's eyes widen, as if in an instant, some terrible revelation has been laid before him.
The grandfather?
He says warily. The jester smiles coldly.
Oh yes, I have heard his call, brother. You provided the means of communion, and through it, I have been enlightened.
It says, almost reverently.
No. I am his emissary. I am his chosen.
Cries the creep.
And yet, I am the one who stands here. I am the one who hears him.
Kazzimir steps forward, steps towards the jester. He is but a child before a giant. He is utterly outmatched. Yet, a desperation has seized him. A mad fervor.
existence for so long now. Some may have known, some may have guessed, even suspected. But now, in this moment, the three paths ordained have aligned. Convergence of the Trinity, as foretold by the Grandfather. He has shown me so much. I have beheld truths beyond the mortal realms. I have perceived destiny is now, and we must all play our parts. But such moments of divine orchestration are not just for anyone. This moment is only for the three of us. Ursk, the hand of death to my right. Kazzimir, the creep, to my left. Here we are, the pieces all assembled and ready to play their final move in this game. Everything that has come to pass has been by my hand. All of it, all of this could only have happened because of me. I do pity him. To glimpse divinity only to have it snatched from you. It is a cruelty indeed. But then again, the galaxy is a cruel place. My brother, you were his tool. You were bidden to open the door, and open it you have. He thanks you. I thank you. But your purpose has been served. Go now, back to your dark places, content with knowing you have elevated your lord into the Grandfather's embrace. Content, spits Kazzimir. You arrogant bastard. Do you really think I will just slither back to my hovel? I have done so much. I have served him faithfully, while you whimpered and pleaded to the dark. You weakling, you cur. How dare you stand there when it should be me? I opened the way to the halls of the gods. You mewed on the deck of your chambers. We are not the same. You lead us unto our deaths. I will give us all immortality. Such rhetoric, such passion. It pleases me to see how the Grandfather has made him so strong. But this has moved beyond him. Kazzimir is beginning to become an obstacle. An obstacle to me. An obstacle to the Grandfather. This cannot be permitted. Kazzimir, back with you to the darkness. You are no longer required here, my brother. Go, and keep your life for what it is worth. I command. I watch as his face twists with murderous intent. I am no dog to be ordered about as such. Kazzimir, I say with finality, you were never chosen. You merely eavesdropped on the revelations of a god. You are not worthy of favor, not the Grandfathers, not the Primarchs, not even mine. I bite each word off, letting my vindictiveness seep into everyone. You, Kazzimir, are as you always have been, nothing more than I watch as the dam breaks in him. All the resentment, The centuries of festering bitterness, the indignities heaped on indignities, the murderous rage boiling within him for thousands of years. All of it explodes from him in those witness to it have ever heard. His hand goes straight to his belt, and he draws a blade. Its length erupts into fetid, odious flames. He lunges up the steps of the dais towards me. I do not move. I do not go for my own blade. I do not seek to escape his oncoming wrath. The paths of fate are crashing together, the threads of destiny tangling around and strangling each other. Kazzimir, Ursk, and myself, the Trinity, the genesis of a new beginning, is now the nightfall of the past. Kazzimir is almost upon me, the blade trailing toxic fire. He will kill me, all as the grandfather wills it. Fire, noxious and reeking of chemical stink. It rolls like a wave, consuming everything in its path. Servitors, cogitator banks, slaves. Kazzimir. All of it disappears into the heart of the inferno. Flesh melting, blood boiling, bone charring. The heat is ferocious in its intensity. The odor is even more so. But I do not move. I do not even flinch. I stay motionless, watching, smiling, laughing. Ursk ends the deluge of chemical death, the stream of fire guttering out, and he lowers the devastating weapon to his side. Over the roar of the flames comes a shrieking cry. It is the constant and sustained agony of one suffering a slow, torturous end. From out of the flames falls a shape, cracked and burned, smoldering, cooked raw and melting. It tears at itself, attempting to rip molten armor pieces off. Skin sloughs from bones in the attempt, and blood boils on the white-hot deck. A copper tang fills the air, along with cooked meat. Hair exists in burnt patches. The rest is exposed skull. Half of its face has run off the bone like liquid. The jaw and teeth are visible, working open and shut as the cadaver continues to writhe and scream. It is Kazzimir, and despite it all, he's still alive. His one remaining eye fixes on me, and I see his jaw clench. Even though he should be dead, he's as good as. But against it all, he begins to crawl. He must be in agony. His suffering unfathomable. But on he comes, dragging himself towards me. He leaves a sticky black residue in his wake. His one eye never looks anywhere else other than into mine. His hatred is all-consuming and is now sustaining him. Truly, this is a display worthy of the grandfather. This is endurance. He reaches my feet, his charred hands starting to claw at my legs. I watch this for a moment, admirable but deluded. I bend down to him and gently take his hands. Be still, brother, I whisper tenderly. He tries to talk, but his voice fails him. It is over for you, my brother. Rest now and sleep. The long war has ended for you. He makes a sound like a wounded beast, a gurgling noise rising up from his throat. He sputters, blood bubbling from his lips. He rasps. I know, Kazzimir. He gasps once more.